We're going to react to an article in Car Scoops, and this is about ice storms Hyundai's Georgia plant detaining hundreds in a massive immigration raid. This is an article by Car Scoops. I'll put the link in the description if you want to read the whole thing. Dane, this story is going to get controversial. I hope you are ready for that.
Yeah, let's not get political, but let's get very political.
All right. But look, y'all got to understand, Dane and I are from like Gen X and millennial a little bit, and we talk about anything. We don't care.
Yeah, we don't care. I saw this. So usually when you bring us these articles, I've never seen them before or read anything about them. But this one, I saw the title, but then I forgot to it's still on my phone somewhere, but I never actually went back, clicked it, and read through it. So
Okay.
what you're about to read to me is going to be brand new news.
All right, let's look at this news. U.S. authorities have apprehended at least 450 people at a Hyundai EV plant in Georgia. Georgia on my mind. So this was ICE, Homeland Security, the FBI, the DEA, the Atlanta ATF raided this facility. Wow, they had everybody there.
That's crazy.
It says multiple South Korean nationals were detained in the operation on this new $7 billion with a B dollar plant. Oh my gosh.
Dang.
They have detained, let's see. They have apprehended hundreds of unlawful aliens. South Korea expressed concerns over reports that 30 of the detained were its country's nationals. Okay, well, that still leaves over 400 other people who were there. Let's look
from other countries illegally.
I think most of these people are from South Korea.
Oh, really?
Hyundai's a South Korean company.
So you think most of the 450 was people from South Korea?
I don't know. Maybe. Let's look at this. Let's see if we can bring this thing up from CNN.
In the 22-year history of this agency. Now, here's what we know. This happened at the Hyundai Meta Plant site. This is in Ella Belle, Georgia. This is just 25 miles or so west of Savannah. And according to the Associated Press, this raid stopped construction of this factory that's being built to produce batteries for electric vehicles. This same site, this same project, this was touted by Georgia.
Yeah, look at they got the helicopters out and everything.
Dang. Yeah, they were looking for anybody that was going to flee, apparently.
I guess so.
Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp, who called it the largest economic development site in the state's history. Now, we have video that we're showing in pieces here of masked and armed agents there at the site.
They got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different vehicles moving in.
I wonder why they targeted this plant.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. I did some nerd research. I found out the person that caused the whole thing.
And was is the plant still under construction or is it in operation?
It looks like it's under construction.
Okay, so they're building it right now. It's not an operating plant.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Raided the facility. We can also see workers here in hard hats and vests. They were lined up as this was ongoing. They were executing, Omar, a search warrant that DHS says is part of an ongoing criminal investigation into this, quote, allegations of unlawful employment practices.
Allegations of unlawful employment practices, Dane.
Dang, Hyundai, that's not a good look.
What is going on here?
So there's been complaints, obviously.
Yeah.
Encountered many lawful employees working here, United States citizens and lawful permanent residents, and they are, of course, being released.
Meanwhile, Hyundai says it is cooperating with law enforcement, saying this: "We are committed to abiding by labor and immigration regulations."
All right. So
Hyundai
says that they're cooperating. All right, Dane, let's go into the comment section. This is going to be brutal. I want you to know that we already know this is a hot button topic, but we are not afraid to talk about anything on the Check Engine Life podcast.
That's right. And you know you can't get the truth until you get to the comments.
Yeah, it'll be some truth. We'll see. Let's see. This guy says so much TDS in these comments.
What's that? What's TDS?
Trump derangement syndrome. That's what that stands for. So that's people who don't like Trump very much. They really don't like him. This guy says, I'm here for it. Keep up the raids.
Okay.
This guy says, I'd like to know the final stats of the 450 detained. How many were American citizens? Probably none were American citizens. But how many were lawfully in the country? Probably none. That's why they were detained.
All right.
ICE developed a habit of arrest everyone of color and sort it out later. I don't know. I don't think do Koreans, are they considered people of color?
I think so.
Koreans? South Koreans, they're
Yeah,
like Asian.
exactly. But isn't Asian a people or person of color?
I don't think so.
Basically, if you're not like European, white, everything else is of color, I thought.
I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Do you think Korean people are considered people of color? I know when I look at a Korean person, their skin looks white to me. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not up to me if they're people of color, but
But if you ask Koreans if they're white, they're gonna say no.
yeah, but they're not. They don't have color either, though. So they're like in
Yeah,
another category, I think.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
no
don't know how
offense
this
to
works.
people. No offense to people if you're Korean, but I would like to know: do you consider yourself a person of color? I
Mhm.
just want to know what you think. I don't really care. All right.
This is true. I don't have a dog in the game here, but like, yeah, they're all just people.
I'm mixed anyway, so I'm a person of both colors.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for the controversy in the
Yeah.
comments?
I want to know what the people think.
I want to know what you think. It doesn't matter. We can talk about everything.
Hmm.
Let's go. All right. So I looked up in my nerd research what are some of the punishments of breaking immigration laws in South Korea? Let's see what they do about this situation. Breaking laws in South Korea, immigration laws can result in significant penalties, including arrest, fines, imprisonment, and deportation. Depending on the severity of what you have done, you may be held in detention centers with limited options for bail. Fines can be substantial, and repeated or serious violations may lead to deportation this is after any prison sentence is served. So they'll lock you up in South Korea. Bail
Mhm.
is often not granted except for serious offenses. All right. So they're not playing around in South Korea.
No, they're not. Well, is there a country that you know of that will not deport you for being in their country illegally?
I don't know. I think everybody will deport you if you do that. And I
Yeah,
don't
I think that's
understand.
pretty standard practice for any country.
Yeah. So I don't know why people are crying. So I looked this up on Reddit. According to the Redditors, this is the TikTok of the person that started this whole thing. This is Tori.
She made the first complaint.
I think so. Let's see what she has to
Oh,
say.
So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
Uh-oh, she's the one that did it.
racist. She's a racist.
At her.
Oh
But it
man.
goes beyond just someone working illegally. Let me explain to you.
They're saying that she's running for Congress. So
Uh,
maybe that's
see,
part of
yeah.
the reason.
So yeah,
I
these
don't
things
know.
don't just happen randomly. I figured there was a complaint or multiple complaints of some kind of activity going on.
Yeah. So let's see what she has to say.
These people are working for slave wages. Some are not getting paid. Some are being trafficked. They send money home to their country. They give money to their handler. They have hardly anything left.
So she is saying that some of these people are being trafficked and they
Ooh.
are essentially slave labor. This is not good.
It's a bad look for Hyundai, but they're going to comply though.
They better.
Yeah.
They live in homes 5 families deep, have no quality of life. It's modern day slavery. So if you think that ICE is just going in and ripping people out of their jobs, these hardworking people that want a better life, well, guess what? Politicians have really screwed these people because when they came here, they thought they were, hey, the border's open, we're coming in, we're going to get the 5-star treatment, and we can go to the big Walmart, and we can live in a 5-star hotel. And that's just not how it is. It's very bad conditions, very inhumane. And the Biden administration started a humanitarian crisis. So y'all can't just look at it like they're ripping good people off the job. They're probably saving their lives in the long run.
Oh, the plot thickens, Dane. Look at this.
How much of this do you believe?
I believe some of it.
Yeah,
I think she's telling the truth.
I think there's some of it. There's maybe some people that are stacking multiple families in homes because they, came from another country and maybe they can't afford to have their own yet, or maybe they want to stay together or whatever. I think that some of these things are probably true, but I don't know. I have a hard time believing it's as bad as she says. And the whole slave wages, slave labor thing, I don't know. Slaves don't get paid anything. So
Uh,
I don't know. So what's she saying? She's basically saying that Hyundai is aiding the trafficking of South Koreans to America to work in their plants for basically nothing on construction sites. Nonetheless, usually construction sites are all contracted done. They're not done by the company themselves. So I'm having a hard time putting things together here.
Well, I think I think most of these people are like under contract.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what they're doing, but they're doing something, and it's probably like through a third party, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
This may be a situation where Hyundai just didn't even know that this was going on. This is like a third party type thing.
Probably because, yeah, like a company doesn't usually build the building. They pay a contractor to build the building. So if all these people are working on the construction site,
The building is built. I think they're putting stuff together inside the building.
either way, a lot of
I don't
times it's
know.
still the people moving the moving equipment, all that stuff. It's not usually the company themselves, right? I know you can probably
Yeah.
when we were at like
So,
Cummins, big machinery's got to get moved. People
yeah.
internally aren't doing that. That stuff's getting contracted out.
Yeah. So I think that's what's happening.
Mhm.
But I think she's probably right about the situation where, I don't know, slave labor. I guess it's a subjective thing, like Dane's saying, like slaves don't get paid anything.
Mhm.
But in slave labor, like you might consider it to be, they're getting paid a lot less than what an American would get to do that same job.
Mhm.
Like I think that's what she means by slave labor. And I think that's very possible that that's happening. We will find out in the investigation now. But let's
Yeah,
look. Go ahead.
it'd be interesting because sometimes those guys, and that's why some people will hire illegals, is because other people
It's a
won't do the
business
work for the
decision.
pay that they're willing to or able to pay, and so those people are saying, yeah,
Well,
it's
she
a
did.
lot lower wages.
Lady did another video. She was saying this is not work that Americans wouldn't want to do. This is like a little bit higher skill type work. And she's saying
Hmm.
Americans would do the work. It's just that the company, or at least the third party contractor or whoever approved the pay, they would obviously, their business, they want to get paid. They want to pay people as little as possible.
Mhm.
So I don't know. We'll find out. But
Hmm.
let's look at the comments. These people are going to be real upset. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna guess there's some fire thrown back and forth in this one. But we got to find the truth, MJ.
Well, we'll try. Let's see. This guy says this is bigger news in Korea. All major newspapers are on it. By the way, nobody in Korea ever mentioned anything about exploitation or slave condition. I would take this lady's statement with a mountain of salt. Okay.
That's a lot of salt.
Yeah, that's a lot of salt. I don't know.
That's
This guy says, well, I mean, I don't know if they would, I don't know how the newspapers in Korea would react to that, but we'll see. This guy says, my reaction to this was like a GD pendulum. Describes exploitation, modern slavery, nods in agreement. The politicians have screwed these people because when they came in, they thought, hey, the border is open. We we can live in a five-star hotel. Oh, this woman is a crazy person. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about all that either because it's again, our government has nothing to do with people being trafficked if they're being trafficked like they were saying. So I don't know. I don't get it. And if these people were given some sort of, you know, sales pitch that we're going to bring you here and it's going to be great, that's the contractors or the companies that are employing these people when they come over that are making those promises, not our government. So I don't understand how it's a political issue like that.
Yeah, everything's a political issue to some
Oh,
people.
right. People try blowing stuff up into things that they're not really,
This guy says South Korea plays the US in football today. Hopes Korea absolutely whoops their ass. What? No, football? We talking about soccer?
What?
Cares
This is
about?
America.
Well, nobody cares about soccer, especially
Yeah.
care about no soccer. All right. So yeah, this lady's running for Congress, and they think that that's why she did it.
Yeah. So this is a stunt to get more publicity for herself. Tough on immigration. Well, okay, whatever. Yeah, I have a hard time believing it's as bad as she says it is.
I don't know. It might be. The thing is,
it could be worse, but I just have a hard time believing it.
well, you know, in the book of Proverbs, it says, when you hear the first argument, it sounds really convincing, but when you hear the second argument, then you start to maybe see the whole picture. So let's wait until we get the whole picture before we start jumping off the building. The thing is, in my opinion, if they have this plant in the US, it is for US workers, not for people to be working under the table and getting less than what a US worker would getting. For number one, that's not fair to them. And number two, you shouldn't be able to put people in bad conditions just because they're not US citizens. Look, you're either going to be a US citizen with the permission to work in the US or you're not. And if you're not, it is time to hit the door and come back in the right way next time. It doesn't benefit these people to be paid less than everybody else. All right. Forget that. Slavery is over, and wage slavery is about to be over too. You know, they did an ICE raid too recently on like a farm where they grow let's say, I don't want to say the word, but you know,
Oh yeah.
puff pass type
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
And they found a bunch of 13 or 14-year-olds working on the puff pass farm.
Yeah.
This basically slavery, really. I mean, you're enslaving people from other countries to grow your puff pass, and those kids
Mhm.
were even working with somebody who was an adult who had been convicted of doing things they are not supposed to be doing to minors.
Ew.
And so they're working on the same farm as this person under any type of conditions, who even knows? And this is what I'm talking about. Modern day wage slavery is huge and it needs to stop in the US. And to all the liberals who think that these raids are just bad, a lot of times we'll call it half slavery, okay?
Mhm.
Is not complete slavery, like Dane said, where you don't get paid anything, but it's halfway slavery where you're not getting paid what you should. You're working in terrible conditions, and we're not going to allow that. So I don't care if you want your puff pass or if you want your Hyundai batteries. We're not going to allow half slavery in the US as far as I'm concerned. And you had to do it the right way or not do it at all. And I don't care. They could insult this lady and say she's this and she's that, or people who voted for Trump are this or that. Look, we're not going to allow half slavery, period. End of conversation. And, you know, that's how I feel about it. What do you think, Dane?
Dude, I'm pro child labor on the farm.
On the farm. Look
For
at
real
you.
though, because I was one of those child laborers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on a farm in Michigan
Yeah.
where we didn't know animals, just crops, you know. But I worked for my dad, and then I worked for neighbor farmers. Like one of my first jobs that wasn't for on my parents' farm was for my neighbor baling hay. And so anybody that hasn't done this, I'll explain. Anybody that has done it, you know how bad it sucks. But I started at 11 years old for like $4 an hour. And you have to wear long pants and long sleeves because otherwise that hay is going to cut up your forearms and your legs and stuff whenever you're throwing bales. So
Yeah.
you're riding behind the baler and you're stacking bales on a wagon, and you only do it when it's super hot outside. You're stacking 40, 60-pound bales of hay at 11 years old over my head, you know, to
So
stack the
you're
front of
off.
this thing. And then when we were done, we'd take them all back to the barn, and we'd have to carry them all up the way up to the top of the loft, these bales, and stack them all. And yeah, anyways, that's the kind of stuff I was doing. Worked for a potato farmer where you're riding a harvester, same thing. You're doing it when it's super hot in the summertime. It's super dirty, dusty. You're throwing rocks and clumps off. Hey, it
All
makes
right.
you a successful person later on. So I'm not against child labor on the farm.
Okay. All right. So Dana's okay with child labor. What
Yeah.
about child labor for children from other countries? You okay with that too?
Yeah, honestly, it teaches them a good work. It teaches them a good work ethic, man.
Okay.
Right? I think the younger you learn, what hard days. I'm trying to make this say with a straight face. I'm serious though.
I know you are.
I know this the earlier in life that you learn how to do a hard day's work and earn an honest dollar, the better off you're going to be for the rest of your life. Because I know you
Okay.
know people, and people listening, I know you know people too that have a crap work ethic, and they probably haven't ever done anything since they got out of college. No job their whole life. They get out of college, and then all of a sudden they're demanding to get paid the maximum because some teacher or some guidance counselor told them that this is the money they can make when they graduate college. You got, you have no work experience, no prior nothing, and you're probably lazy and you have a lot to learn. But that was always something I put on all my resumes, was like farm and
I
all
was a
the
child labor
exactly,
aficionado.
from a young age, grew up on farm, and people, it's been I've never had to struggle getting work ever, because
Okay.
they see that, they're like, all right, you obviously know what's going on. You can learn skills quickly. You're adaptable. You have all your fingers and toes. You must not be too stupid, because you would have gotten it caught in farm equipment, so a lot of
Okay.
assessments can be made on that. So yeah,
All
kids
right.
should
Well,
work.
that's an interesting take. So
Yeah.
to everybody in the comments who's saying that MAGA is terrible and Trump is terrible, here we have Dane, who voted for Trump, and he is for child labor
I didn't vote for
and
Trump,
immigrant.
though. I didn't vote for a Democrat either, though.
You didn't vote for Trump?
No, I voted Libertarian in the last 3 elections.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you might think that Dane would vote for Trump, but he did not. He voted for Libertarian.
No, yeah, I'm not a right wing guy or a left wing guy. I kind of fall somewhere in the middle, and I try to be. I try
Okay.
and judge things on an as I see basis. So I don't try and follow any lines.
All right. Well, everybody is welcome to their opinion around here. Thank you for sharing your opinion, Dane. I
Mhm.
voted for Trump, but I voted for Obama too.
Mhm.
And I'm not for this, and that's the way I feel about it. I don't think we should have kids working on the farm. I don't think we should have people from other countries working in our country illegally, and that is just my opinion. But
Mhm.
if you have a different opinion, let us know in the comments. We are going to go to the next story.